My parents chose my twin brother over me for every major life event, from graduations to my wedding. So I moved across the country, started a new life from scratch, built a career, bought my dream house, and then they showed up desperate, begging for my approval while I discovered my brother was secretly sabotaging my life too. Hey Reddit, this is going to be long, but I need to tell my story in full. There's no way to condense it without losing the context of the betrayal, heartbreak, and eventual rise I experienced. I'm 28F, and my twin brother, Aaron, is 28M. Our parents, let's call them David and Clara, have been playing favorites since we were toddlers, and the favoritism only intensified over time. Part 1. Growing up in a household of favorites. Aaron and I are identical twins, but growing up, the world, or at least our parents, treated us differently. Aaron, outgoing, charming, loved performing, excelled in sports, effortlessly charismatic. Me, Zara, quiet, studious, responsible, empathetic, the one who always anticipated other people's needs. From a young age, I was expected to be the model child, who quietly handled homework, chores, and responsibilities, while Aaron got the praise, the gifts, and attention for things he didn't even try hard at. By middle school, I noticed patterns. Aaron's mistakes were excused, mine were amplified. Aaron's achievements were celebrated endlessly. Mine were acknowledged politely and then quickly moved past. My birthdays were small, quiet, whatever you want. Aaron's birthdays were parties that our parents bragged about to relatives and neighbors. I accepted it for years, thinking maybe that's just the way things were, but the cracks were forming. Part 2. The first major betrayal, graduation. High school graduation. A milestone that's supposed to celebrate achievement, pride, and family support. Aaron graduated first. Parents flew him out to a special ceremony across the state, even though he barely passed some of his classes. They posted dozens of pictures on Facebook. When my graduation came, they told me, "We're proud of you, honey. We'll be there, but Aaron's prom reunion is the same day. We'll take pictures and call you." They didn't show, not one call during the ceremony, not even a congratulatory video. Aaron got their attention, gifts, and celebration. I got a text that said, "Sorry we missed it, we'll celebrate soon." That soon never came. Part 3. College and the fund. My grandparents had saved a college fund for both of us equally. By the time I got accepted to my dream university, it had grown to $60,000 each. Aaron decided he didn't want to go to college, too stressful, he said. My parents encouraged him to find his path. Meanwhile, my fund was supposed to be untouched for my tuition and housing. Except they took $30,000 of my fund to pay for Aaron's business startup, a band he wanted to launch. According to them, it was an investment in the family, and I should be grateful he's following his dreams. I cried silently. My parents, my twin, my family, all prioritized him over my future. Part 4. Career beginnings and moving away. After college, I decided I couldn't stay in the same city. Every milestone, promotion, award, even minor recognition, had been overshadowed by Aaron. I moved to another state, started at a small marketing firm, and slowly built my life from scratch. It was hard. I had no local family support, limited friends, and no network, but I thrived. Within 3 years, I bought my first car with my own money. I got promoted twice. I started saving aggressively for a house, all while keeping in touch with my parents sparingly. Their calls were always about Aaron, his career, his girlfriend, his achievements. I was a background character. Part 5. The wedding betrayal. I met my now husband, Ethan, and after 3 years of dating, we got engaged. I wanted a family-centered wedding, but of course, my parents had other priorities. They booked Aaron's band for a huge music festival the same weekend as my wedding. On the day they left for the festival, not a single call, not a single message during the ceremony. They came by for 15 minutes at the reception, long enough to tell me, "Be happy we made it, don't overreact. Aaron's performance was important." I didn't cry, I smiled. But inside I made a vow, I would never let them hurt me like this again. Part 6. Building a life far away. After the wedding, I and Ethan decided to buy a house far from my hometown. We took out a manageable mortgage, bought furniture and decor with our savings, hosted our first holiday in a house that felt like our own. Meanwhile, Aaron and my parents were busy. Aaron floundering with his band, parents subtly trying to guilt me into visiting. I blocked calls for months. I realized the only way to feel peace was distance and independence. Part 7. The parents' desperation. About 2 years later, my parents discovered I bought a house. Suddenly, calls at odd hours begging to see it. Emails filled with flattery and thinly veiled guilt-tripping. Even a surprise visit one weekend, which Ethan had to carefully navigate. I realized two things. They weren't suddenly supportive. They were desperate for control. Distance and boundaries were the only way to protect my peace. I confronted them. "You only care about me when I have something you can't control or take away. That's not love." They were silent. For once, the power dynamic had shifted. Part 8. The twin twist. Shortly after, I discovered Aaron had been subtly trying to sabotage my career online, sending anonymous warnings to my bosses, leaving negative comments about my work performance, spreading false rumors about me in professional circles. I documented everything, presented it to HR. They were shocked. My twin, yes, but still, the evidence was undeniable. Aaron was confronted and forced to apologize publicly. My parents' reaction: "Oh, we didn't realize he was serious. He's just competitive." I laughed. Competitive? I'd survived years of this and now I was untouchable. Part 9. Updates ongoing saga. Update 1. Family holiday attempt. My parents tried to reintegrate during Christmas. I said, "You can come, but this year you follow my rules. Respect me and Ethan or don't come at all." They complied barely, and I realized boundaries can enforce respect. Update 2. Professional vindication. A promotion I had been denied years ago due to Aaron's subtle sabotage finally landed in my lap. My bosses praised my diligence, integrity, and resilience. Update 3. Aaron's realization. Aaron reached out months later, genuinely, after seeing my success. He admitted he was jealous, had acted poorly, and asked for guidance. I agreed cautiously to mentor him, but only within boundaries I set. Update 4. Parents' full acknowledgement. Recently, my parents admitted they had treated me unfairly and promised to do better. I accepted a partial apology, knowing full reconciliation would take time. Part 10. Reflection. This story spans nearly a decade of emotional growth, betrayal, and eventual empowerment. I've learned. True independence comes when you remove toxic influence. Milestones reveal true intentions. You can love your family, but still enforce strict boundaries. Resilience and patience eventually shift power in your favor. Today, Ethan, our dog, and I live in a home full of love, stability, and laughter. Our parents are in the background, trying to reconnect. I allow limited interaction, carefully monitored, and Aaron is slowly learning what it means to respect boundaries and humility. I'm finally living a life that's mine, and it feels incredible. I'm finally living a life that's mine, and it feels incredible.